Ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. We on?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is the May 28, 2025 hearings on zoning violations and citations. It's 2:30 p.m. We're in room 125 and we're on Zoom.
Mhm.
My name is Robert Maslin. I'm the hearing officer. What I want to do and what I usually do is run through the list on the agenda and see if there are any matters that we can dispose of quickly.
Yes. So the first one
So let's run down in order. Fulmar, 9 Fulmar Lane.
that can be done quickly. Looking to close it without any fines assessed.
Well, okay.
Mhm.
Then we're closed.
All good. I'll send you an email. Thank you.
84 Wall Street.
That one I'd like to discuss.
All right. How long do you think that would take?
That one should be like quick, like 3 to 5 minutes.
How many?
Like 3 to 5 minutes.
47 Woodward.
Yes, that
Is
right
this the
here.
one with the stairs and all that?
Yes.
That's going to take a while.
Yes. Mhm. Like 5 minutes, something. 10
Five?
minutes. 5-10 minutes.
8 Dover.
Kate Dover. Yes, I'd like to discuss that one. That'll probably be like 10 minutes.
6 Lincoln.
So it's Lincoln. Yes, they're here. Discussion like 10 minutes.
Van Tassel.
Looking to close with no fines assessed.
Closed.
Mhm.
That one.
Thank you, guys. Oh, other one.
Good. Thank you. 34 Garner.
Wait for Gunnar here, and it's like 5-minute discussion.
5 minutes.
Mhm.
336 Westport Avenue.
Not here, like a 5 to 10 minute discussion.
Do that one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pleasant Street, 9 Pleasant.
Not here, and that'll be a discussion 5 to 10 minutes.
Barju.
Owner's not here, however, we have a neighbor who's here, and that'll be like a 5-minute discussion.
5 minutes.
Mhm.
Okay, so we disposed of 2.
Mhm.
I thought you had mentioned, I want to ask you about one.
Mhm.
Dover.
8 Silver, yes. That we discussed it last time. It was we had an issue regarding who owned the property since it was in the conservatorship.
Oh, yeah, and there's a question about who's actually.
Yes, the owner, yes.
What's the status of that?
No updates as of now from
No updates.
yes, I gave him a reminder of what had to be done,
Anybody
but
here on it?
no.
Okay. Okay. 84 Wall Street, 3 to 5 minutes, you said.
Yes.
Somebody here?
Yes. Yeah, a few people here.
Step right up. You look familiar. You've been here before.
Yes, we were here last month.
The new sign design.
Yes.
What do you?
So in
What's the next
short,
step?
the violation has been removed, so the sign has been removed, and just this week I approved a application for the new conforming sign design. So that just got their zoning approval on the yesterday, 27th. So still needs to get a building permit review, but however, the heading the right direction. And terms
Well,
of conformity.
As far as zoning compliant.
Yes. Mhm.
And is the sign up or is it,
No, so it currently looks like this. So it's the sign is gone and they're working with a sign company to install a new conforming sign.
how long did it take for the sign to come down?
That weekend. So the weekend after the or hearing. Yeah.
Meeting?
Mhm. So by Monday the next week it's
And
done.
He complied really
That was
quickly.
up, that was up,
Like,
I
two months,
mean,
I'd
you
say.
issued this citation and then
Correct. Yes.
we met here on it.
Correct. Mhm.
I think both of you were here.
Mhm.
And the sign came down.
Yes. Mhm.
So instant response.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
you're here for the landlord?
Correct.
Mhm.
Not the guy that put the sign up.
That's my
Oh,
point.
that's you.
Yes,
You're the tenant?
correct.
Okay, so what's up?
Working with to get a new sign up. We just got up with them.
What happened, Mr. Hall? The first time that the sign didn't comply, is that what?
Correct.
What it
Yes.
was?
Mhm.
Um, is there any fit up work inside that?
Yes, a fit up
Mhm.
permit was done. Fit up permit was done our end. They're currently working with the building department to finalize the permits there.
Did that
After
work,
the fact,
did
yes.
that work start without permits?
Yes, correct. Yes. So it was, the store opened up without permits. So the sign was up and the store was in operation without permits, and the sign drew the attention, which
So they had no CO either.
correct. Yes.
How long was it open?
To my knowledge, it's been a few months. I sent the notice of violation back in. It was back in April. I think it was March actually.
Fire department closed him immediately. He was
Mhm.
more open for months.
No,
With the fire insurance? You know what the fire marshal ended up doing with this?
To my knowledge, no, I have not had any updates so far.
He's still reviewing it.
Oh.
He made us review our sprinkler system because he said it went from a gym
Hmm.
to a furniture store. It originally was a Sears, so the sprinkler
So
system was
Whitney was what?
a Sears building. Sears.
What's that?
Sears.
Oh, Sears Robot.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So it was
That's a
originally a
long
Sears, so exactly. So although the sprinkler system was originally built for furniture, the last usage was a gym. So he wanted it even though
So-
we tested it quarterly and it was working fine, he literally made us redo the whole sprinkler system. Yeah, he's been a little tough on us, fire marshal.
Well, isn't it because he came out a second time and found that they were doing appointment only or something like that?
But the landlord did not know he was open for business.
Don't mess with.
Yeah, the landlord did not.
I mean, the notice violation went out February 5th this year. So it's probably received, like I'd say, give or take 5 days
Yeah,
later.
but it goes to the owner.
Correct. Yes. Mhm.
But the tenants here. I assume that there's a provision in the lease for compliance.
Yes, and I gave a copy of
Mhm,
the
yes.
the last time I was here. It shows
I do
you
have
need to have all
the
the
lease, yeah.
permitting, landlord approval. all the-
a chunky document. Mhm. Yeah, the full lease.
Soon, somewhere in here, it says.
And sticky note sections. And full lease.
Specifically about, so.
I hear this specific a letter from the landlord's attorney specifically about this issue. Mhm. Oh, thank you.
Looks like you jumped right on it.
We tried, yeah.
Well,
Did, and
it
we've
sounds
been
like you were
working.
successful.
Well, we're still here.
Well, I know that, but it's only the second time. You're not. They're the longest by units. But there any, this is what I'm thinking. I'm reluctant to impose a fine that runs against the building owner
Mhm.
because they jumped right on this.
Mhm.
There's a provision in the lease, the tenant didn't do what he was supposed to. But the tenant should be on the hook or something,
Mhm.
because this was pretty open. Blatant comes to mind, but are there any opportunities in the city for donations to something?
Like,
Like if he will kick this over and then the tenant makes a donation of say $750 to a charity or a city real like the museum or
to my knowledge, no. I can do research.
because I really
Mhm.
you issue a fine, the fine goes after the building owner,
Mhm.
and it's really not the building owner's issue.
Mhm.
Do you want, can we kick this over a month and see what you can work out as far as a donation?
We can do that.
I think I would rather do that than impose a fine against the building owner.
Mhm.
For $750.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Fair enough.
All right,
So
so kick it over 1 month.
yes, the next hearing is on the June 25th. The next hearing.
2 o'clock.
Yes.
And if it's acceptable to the staff, then they don't have to come, we just close it.
Mhm.
Fair enough, everybody. We need to
Thank
take a short recess.
We'll be stopping for a moment. We'll resume momentarily.
Okay. So next is,
I would say Garner might be the quickest.
you want to Garner?
Yeah.
34 Garner Street.
Mhm.
Anybody here?
Yes. And I believe in the audience, Mr. Farnsworth is a interested party. I can ask him to. Hello, Mr. Farnsworth. We're hearing 34 Garner now. If you want to speak anything, just raise your hand.
Is this the bed and, what do you call it?
The
Airbnb?
one that started at Airbnb, yes.
And you're Daniela Alfaro?
Mhm.
What's the status?
So a part of a variance application was made. It was done on, it was this week, I believe. No, sorry, the 22nd, a variance application was made. We're still waiting on a survey for the application, but the form and the plans were submitted. So they're trying to legalize the converted garage through the ZBA, which they have the right to do.
Is there a provision in the regulations that prohibits use variances in residential zones?
They're seeking
Yes.
parking.
Because the garage was there.
Not to use.
Correct, yes. Mhm.
They're not seeking an Airbnb, they're seeking.
The
conversion.
Airbnb is done, right? Because they
Conversion,
reduced the
yeah.
number of units and they got rid of the kitchen.
Yes, yes. So to my knowledge, the kitchen has been released. Rooms are,
So
Yes.
what's the status of the variance?
so it's just applied for the 22nd. The next ZBA hearing is the day after
April or May?
May.
May
It was,
22nd?
yeah, applied last week of May 22nd. It was applied for.
Okay,
So the next ZBA hearing is the day after our next hearing. So yeah. So my recommendation was
is
to,
there anything missing? Other, you need a survey, you said.
it's, yeah, survey PDF was provided, but we need the hard copies as well.
But you have a survey already done.
Yeah, they mailed it out, so I'm just waiting to get it, but yeah, it's sealed and stamped. signed and
Who's the
everything.
surveyor?
I'm not sure.
I have
Cost
to
call.
find-
So
Yeah,
cost call.
So okay, so it's a parking variance
Correct, yes. Mhm.
and this is to replace the parking that was lost when the garage was finished.
Correct, yes. Mhm.
And It's the number of spaces or the location?
The kind of both. So the garage, the house as existing, it was built right at the setback line, so all parking needs to be behind that setback line. So the single car garage provided at the time the necessary one car that was needed for parking. So with that being
Is it
removed,
one because it's grandfathered as one?
correct, yes,
Now you need two.
correct, yes. But at the time the house was built, you only need one. So
Okay, right,
Mm.
okay. All right. Are you doing the variance yourself?
Yes.
All right,
I would make one comment about your application. Be sure that you cease parking in the adjacent grass prior to your application. Okay, that's
Okay.
technically a violation. Parking that you should utilize in the drive.
Okay.
all right. You said there was somebody from the public?
yes. He's on the Zoom. If you can hear me, if you want to speak on this, you can just raise your hands. If not, we can continue. Mr. Farnsworth.
Mr. Farnsworth, do you have anything you want to add? No. Hand raised.
Mhm.
Is there a way you can tell if he has trouble?
Um, he could like leave a comment. I don't see one.
No open questions, no. Okay. Where does he live?
He is, I believe, the neighbor across the street.
If there's a variance application pending, we kind of need to wait and see what the ZBA does.
Mhm.
So what, we're talking 2 months?
Yeah, it's just because the next CBA meeting is the day after our next hearing, so we don't have a July hearing set yet. We could set that now. Usually we do the end of the month, so either the 23rd or the 30th. Or but if the application gets denied, the plans
So
need to be
then you
provided.
got, then you got.
Mhm, yeah.
July what?
Either the 23rd or 30th will be fine with me. But actually, possibly the 30th, because I'm away the beginning of the month.
Yeah. Screw this up. Put this in. I just. I think I have- Um, Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's send it in. Okay. July 30th, 2 o'clock.
All set. Right, thank you.
Thank you.
So here, remaining, we have 47 Woodward.
From Wall Street. Ron,
Mhm.
done.
So here we have 47 Woodward, 6 Lincoln, who has legal representation. And
Let's do 6 Lincoln.
okay.
There it is. Mr. Heisler, how are you? Good. Nice to see you, Mr. Arizona. Go ahead.
So this was heard last month on the April 23rd hearing. No one came to speak at that hearing, so it's two of us. So that's when we upheld the violation and we just continued it to this month. So the week after that hearing, the homeowner responded to me and allowed me to do an inspection. So I conducted an inspection on April 29th, where I just did a full inspection of the entire house. While the basement and the first floor were empty, in the pictures on the screen I'll show. This was the basement. It showed kitchen elements. Again, the basement, pictures in the basement showing a separation lock. On the first floor, there was a finished kitchen. On the second floor, there's a finished kitchen. And it was the landlord was living there. We are in CV2 zone. And in the attic, there was 2, and we have an old permit confirming as a legal 2-family. So the 2-family zone and a permit existing from 2011 to remove the illegal unit, to revert back to a 2-family. So at the time of my oh yes, sir.
The permit.
A
To
permit
back to 2-family.
yes, because there was an unpermitted unit back at the time.
So here we are again.
Yes.
Who is the owner of that?
The same owner, Mrs. Peralta. So at the time of my inspection on the 24th, I deemed it to be a 4-family because it was
4 kitchens.
4 kitchens, each floor, basement,
And the
first and
zone
floor
allows 2.
for 2, yes. So I did found those being set up for a 4-family use. So after that inspection, this was just a week ago on the 23rd, the homeowner and attorney Heisler invited me to do a second inspection. So in this inspection, the attic unit was vacated, and the same thing was the basement, and the kitchen elements were removed. The separation lock still exists. So right now, the only people, when I did my inspection last week, it was only the landlord who was the property owner who was living there. Everything else is vacant except for the second
Are
floor.
the kitchens still there?
The attic and basement kitchens were removed. So this shows the attic. This shows
down to 2.
yeah. Now we're down to 2. Yes.
Is that on the-
No. Yeah.
so
So
that's
permit
all.
was not taken out for that. So it's right now, it's only 2 kitchens and only 1 family living in there. However, the possibility, no permit was done yet.
And you're Ms. Peralta.
And
Attorney Heisler, the floor is yours.
yes, Ms. Peralta was having trouble paying her bills and she made a mistake. She feels very bad about it. She hired me to evict the tenant in the illegal apartment. She's like many homeowners in Newark. She had trouble making ends meet, paying her taxes, and she made a mistake and she is sorry for it. I'd ask that what she did to survive. There's no evidence that that anybody was put in danger, and I recognize that it doesn't look good that she had, was told in 2011. That was some time ago, and it's not going to happen again. I'm sending her to a couple of different zoning lawyers to see if there's a possibility of it of obtaining permits. I will say that I walked up and down the street, and that appeared to me that most of the houses there were 3-family houses. But I mean, that doesn't make it right what she did, and she's not looking for. But I would ask that you be sympathetic to her financial condition and the fact that nobody was put in danger by this, and that she immediately took steps to evict the tenant from the offending apartment and to remove the offending kitchens as well.
What happened on April 23rd?
That was when we had a hearing.
Right, but nobody was here.
No one was here now.
I was not aware there was a hearing scheduled that day.
I made a mistake. I was, I think I came there,
The day after.
the day after. I thought it was the day after. I came right in the morning because I got, confused, and I apologize for it.
Was there, you said these kitchens were removed, no permits. Is there a way to permit this so that there's a record? That
Yeah. So and
can
after the
show
fact.
that when you do work on a building, you need a permit.
Correct. Yes.
So that would go through the building department?
Us
Well,
first.
it
and the
starts
building,
with-
yeah. Mhm.
It starts with the,
So-
Mr. Heisler, it starts with
Yes,
a zoning
Right.
sign. Okay, what do you call it?
Approval, this is zoning approval.
Then it goes to building. Because I think it makes sense to have this documented again, so that next time it happens.
Yes.
And if she goes to sell the property, it's, you know, do municipal searches, you know, represent purchasers, so what would it take on their part to file application?
Floor plans of the entire house, just showing, labeling where everything is, showing that it's only gonna be a 2-family use.
Okay.
And, yeah,
You said that they would be looking around for zoning.
Yes, yes.
How's that go?
I'm gonna give her two names, that I have Attorney Sachi and Attorney John Paul. For the two
So
lawyers.
there's a few others.
Oh, if you can give me some suggestions, I don't do that
Yeah,
much.
don't-
legally, I can't recommend anyone, but,
No, but you know who's who.
Yes.
Okay, you wanna go over a month and see how that goes?
I can do that, yes.
My
You
only
need to
issue.
you need to get this stuff
I
going.
understand
And it's not. Doesn't look good when you've already been through this once before, not you, but
that.
the property.
I understand that. I will say she's a really good person who made a mistake.
So I want to clarify, so you
Twice.
said you were gonna maybe seek advice from land use
Yeah.
attorneys, but what, as Attorney Maslin mentioned earlier, there's no use variances in that, so
Yeah.
they can't seek a use variance for a 3-family, that's 2-family, so
Okay.
four family. Or the case may. Can't make it multi-family.
My only issue with the continuance is I heard that you're scheduling the last week in July and I'm gonna be on vacation then.
My next hearing is actually the last week of June, so,
Oh, that'd be fun.
Mm.
Yeah,
so that'll be the next, immediate
That'd be
next one, it'll be the
perfect. Okay.
25th.
okay,
Yeah,
great.
Okay, 2 o'clock.
Okay, great. And she can go to your office
Did you,
tomorrow?
do you have a letter of representation or anything?
You know what? I don't do
Like
that
an
much
email or
municipal work. I'll send something.
Just send me
Yeah.
an email saying.
I will do
you're
that, yes.
Got it.
Thank you. And you'll go back to HDR and to do the application. Thank you very much. Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Uh,
So here we have 47 Woodward and the neighbor for 14
You said
Washington.
nobody's here on 336 West Port Avenue?
No,
How long of the discussion do we need there?
that one, 5 minutes, I'd say, 3 to 5 minutes.
We're not here, so which one do you want to do next?
Let's do Woodward, should be quicker, so let's do Woodward and then Bargain.
47 Woodward?
Mhm.
Okay.
Just because Bargain is the new one, so why not discuss everything there?
Now, this one's been around for a while.
Correct, yes.
And we've had an issue getting somebody to prepare survey and plans.
Correct, yes.
What's the status now?
So I did speak with their architect. I did hire an architect that I worked with in the past, Mr. Diego Rodriguez. So he's been contracted to create plans, and I spoke with him as of a week ago, just asked for the status, and he is they're still working on it. Still gotta actually have an email I can pull up.
Do you have a time when you can expect to have a contract?
Since once the invoice is paid, within 30 days, that's when, the plan will be sent to us. But this was done on the 16th, this contract, and they have come to our house to do.
It's like a week ago.
Yes,
And
This
this,
has been pending since,
yes, from our initial reach out to this person, it took about 2 to 3 weeks for them to come to our property.
and the email on the screen is
but there was a stop work order issued by the building department in 2023. And then August of 24, a notice of violation. And the architect's just getting hired now.
Yes,
Within the
from
last
our
month.
other meetings, we've communicated that we've had problems with our architects, our surveyors, and we've been able to find somebody reliable.
So when is any ETA on?
According to Mr. Rodriguez, I emailed him on the 22nd. He said the plans will be ready within 3 weeks, he said. So that was a week
3
ago.
weeks.
So be 2 weeks from now then.
We're racking up some fines here.
Yeah, we're
We talked about that last time.
Yeah, we would want to get this.
Well,
decision
yeah,
made
we're
as
gonna
fast as
have to.
possible.
How about a survey?
That one, we had an update on the last hearing, however, no new updates. Do you have any new updates, Mr. Surveyor?
Updates, survey.
I spoke with him, say like a
Yeah,
month and a half ago.
Okay, the break, so I was not sure yet. Okay, so we're waiting on the surveyor to give us a specific date. We can.
Problem I have is, once I do something, if I impose a fine, then
Mhm.
there's no further monitoring on my end.
We could send a new citation, however, the fines will start back at 0.
I know,
Mhm.
I know. How many times has this been on?
Just highlight them.
I've seen it 3 or 4.
Correct, yes. It started back in last September. Uh, to- Oh, I should. My decision form should actually have it. 5, 6. Today will be the 7th time. 7th time we've heard it. Yes.
I heard this 7 times.
Correct, yes.
Start with the other doing
He started this with this one, so that's you. So as I said, the last hearing represents Mr. Guillermo Jr., right? As represents Mr. Guillermo Jr. Came along, the progress had increased substantially.
What? I'm looking at a recommendation. Assess the maximum fine of 75,000 and start with another citation. Well, what do we accomplish by doing that? Besides costing them more money that
Then I'll take to.
I got that.
Mhm.
When they actually do file applications, what are the filing fees?
It would be regular filing fees. So this one will probably be the addition, which will be a fine of $210.
You mean an application fee?
Yes. Well, approval
How about-
approval fee. So once it's approved,
What do you mean?
There's no charge to make an application. The only charge to issue a permit.
Right, but what about, was a violation and you're fixing, in other words, an over the counter,
yes,
not going to a commission?
Mhm.
Okay.
because this will just be an over the counter approval.
And then, but building's gonna charge a building fee.
Correct. Yes, they are based on the cost
That's
of work.
based on the cost.
Mhm.
Have you paid that?
This is the projected, and my father has already paid at this contract signing, 1,800. And then when he delivers the plans, we pay him the rest for $1,000.
And what are you doing for a surveyor?
Well, my dad has been in contact with somebody and we're waiting on a specific date he can come up with.
Well,
Survey the
it
property.
shouldn't be that. You hire them and you get in the schedule.
Yeah, if we don't hear from him in the next week or so, we'll
Go on
probably,
to the next one.
yeah, go on to.
Who you trying to? Who is it?
For architects or surveyors,
Surveyor.
a surveyor. It's survey.
The property where it's attached to the.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I spoke with a
Have you
James
heard from-
Dennison.
from the attorney representing the neighbor?
Mr. Dolberg, we actually had a meeting on a separate matter a week ago, and yeah, we briefly talked about this, and he has had some disconnect with his client, so.
Okay.
But to my knowledge, the staircase is still there. Yeah, I was speaking to a Mr. Dennison back in April for the surveyor, so.
All right, well,
You said the surveyor that we contacted you guys.
Yes, yes.
all right, so that's a little progress. We've been in touch with the architects.
Yes.
We're gonna get a surveyor.
Mhm.
You need both.
Yes.
And then you have to have a plan for correcting what's wrong, which means removing certain things that encroach.
Mhm.
The stairs is an issue,
Mhm.
and
The area in the
bump out
front.
in front, the
Mhm.
bay
Yes,
window in the front.
Mhm. correct, yes.
Do you know, the architect or the surveyor can give us plans?
Yeah, it's what, yeah, so both will do that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, you need basically a plan showing what's there, and then a
The plan, what's on.
plan that's gonna be done to correct it. All right.
I think you have to make that clear to the professionals that you're not just looking for as-built plans, that you needed to include the proposed plans as well.
Correct.
Existing and proposed on both survey and architectural
Okay.
plans.
Okay.
I told this to both Diego and Dennison, but I would remind him if I already missed.
June 25th. All right, I'm gonna make a note and you're gonna put it in your memo, Mr. Hall.
Mhm.
June 25th. We need to see real progress.
Mhm.
Like a set of plans and continued contact with the staff on it. And your fine is running, the maximum 75,000. I'm not gonna set a fine until at least next month, because I want to know where you stand next month.
Okay.
Oh, there's gonna be a fine, but I don't want to just set it and then forget it and go away and then we start all over with a new citation. That doesn't accomplish anything.
Mhm.
All right,
So when you reach out to the architect and Diego and Mr. Dennison, just CC me.
Okay.
So that way we're on the loop.
Awesome. Thank you.
nope, that's it. June 25th. 9 Pleasant Street, I think you said 5 minutes.
Um,
Can we do that one?
yes. Oh, yeah, either that or Barjan if you wanted, but up to
Who's
you.
here?
I'm Barjan, the neighbor for Barjan.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Okay.
Oh, for Barjan?
Mhm.
Oh, Barjan.
Marjorie?
Yes, that's it just came in. Yes,
Okay. No, wait,
14.
what about Pleasant Street? Are they here?
They are not. No.
Oh, right, she's here. Marjorie.
Mhm.
Is this a new one?
Yes, the new one. Do you need translation?
Have a seat at the table.
Can call Zoom.
So who, do you own the property?
Yes. Actually,
And you're
wait,
a neighbor?
Do you need translation services or no?
That's good for me, because I'm a Spanish.
Okay. I can call
No,
Zoom.
when they come down immediately.
Yeah, it's Zoom. Zoom on
Know
mine.
you were coming. It's
Yeah. I can make a quick call to.
Please. You have to let us know in advance. We have to try to find if somebody is available.
Okay.
So it'll be just a moment. I don't know, do we move on to 9 Pleasant?
Yeah, we could, yeah, don't go anywhere. Let's. Nobody here on 9 Pleasant.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about 9 Pleasant? Is somebody here on 9? I guess nobody's
No,
here.
it's unless somebody pops in last minute, like Mr. Did I say that right? That's not it. Suki,
Sichiki.
Sikiki,
Sichiki.
huh? Sichiki.
Mhm.
That's not too bad.
Pleasant Street's
So-
over East Norwood.
What is the problem best?
So now, this is, Larry, I know you from the sports court, right? Yeah.
Yes, I have a
This
permit
is not
for
really
that.
exact. This is related to a chicken coop.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, I'm waiting for, I told John, I'm waiting for,
Arjan, hey Ducky?
yes, I'm waiting for for service, for,
Oh, survey to confirm the distance?
yeah, he put in a plane. I have a permit for construction.
Who's doing the survey?
What
Do you
is this?
remember? I
Jean-
know Wayne Devonzo did was it Wayne Arkamo?
Yes. Somewhere for
No, there won't.
Arkham is not the paper.
Let's see how we do.
So Wayne has to do a updated.
Yes,
survey.
you know the paper. I'm not finished the job.
All
Gotcha.
right, so this is,
That's it.
14 Bar June Road,
Correct, yes,
Chicken Coop.
yes.
Building a chicken coop without
Yes.
a permit.
Mhm. I don't think I said that.
But then,
Oh, probably.
Mr. Hall, you also say failure to obtain certificate of zoning compliance for an open permit.
Correct, yes.
Are these two different things, or do they both involve the chicken coop?
Two separate things, though. A permit was done back in last year, January last year for a deck, so alterations, renovations to
Oh,
a deck.
deck?
Mhm, yes. And there was a separate driveway issue as well that was tied to this.
Okay, so what are the issues? What are the zoning violations?
So this will be a setback issue for the chicken coop. So the zone that they are located in is, I think it's CD1M, and there's a 10-foot setback that zoning enforces. However, the health department, this was made out to be my Mr. Werner right here, how they have a separate 50-foot setback for any chicken enclosure. So that's unenforceable for us, but it's kind of a how do I say this? We could approve
I
something. Yeah,
remember an ordinance about chickens,
correct. Yeah, I think it's 15.5, I believe. I printed out.
which you don't have any jurisdiction over
Yeah.
either, but
Correct. Yes.
Our position would be that he needs to seek approval. and
well, you need
send
all the
us-
other approvals, just like,
We can amend his open permit to add a compliant, location compliant coop. That's what we could do as a structure.
But an issue will come, like we could approve something at like 10 feet away. However, the health department wouldn't approve it because it needs to be at least
Yeah.
50 feet away.
has the health department done anything about this?
Yes, the health department did come out a few times. I was not involved with these inspections. The homeowner, if you'd like to, can explain those things, but health department did come out to investigate the issue because there's a rooster as well. I'm sure the Mr.
This
Booker
looks
could
like it's
know
fairly,
that.
a fairly new issue, right?
It's first time for us hearing this
Okay,
for this situation, for this
all right,
violation.
so let's talk about the deck for a second.
Mhm.
Deck has a permit,
Yes.
permit of the deck was completed.
The approval was done. However, the building permit has not been done. So
What do you mean done?
taken out.
Closed
So
out.
I'll pull it up to show you.
He did not obtain the.
Yes, so one was not obtained.
He's gonna put a glass for finish there. And put a glass on.
But it complied with zone.
Correct, yes. But a certificate of zoning compliance hasn't been made yet.
Okay, because you don't have a sign off from the building department.
Correct, yes. So you can see the last building department permit was done in 2022, and this was done in 2024. January 19th. Yes. So technically, as my supervisor just pointed out, this permit is expired if the building permit hasn't been taken out.
Well, if the work was done, would they do a final inspection and sign off on the final inspection?
The building department would want to make sure all the work was done to compliant, make sure everything's
Yeah.
completely built. So they would only
Unless
do
they
one
missed-
unless they get.
Unless they missed inspections or something.
They have not gotten a building permit at
Oh,
all.
not
Yes.
at all,
Mm, yeah.
okay. But it complies with zone.
The proposal was there was still, it was tied into a driveway issue as well,
What's
because
the driveway issue?
it was they had to remove some unpermitted parking. And there was a boat being illegally stored there as well. So here they survey the property. So there's a parking issue here, and it was also expanded here after further inspections. So we would not be able to close the permit out until there's a parking.
Well, you
expanded here
need
with
to
the
get
boat.
everything cleaned up.
Correct, yes. And that was before the chicken coop came in.
Where's the chicken coop?
Chicken coop is
It's point
I-
on the map.
here, so along the side, and Mr. Werner has photos as well. So it's
There's the view
Where's-
from my bedroom.
Where's the coop? Is it?
This is all approved. This is actually.
so it's a few separate structures bunching as one structure.
This is for temporary, then I'll move it. Right.
The other thing is there's a lot of these devices. They react to animals coming. They flash, they've been beeping noise, they were right all bedroom. My wife woke me up a couple
What
of
is that?
times. This is to scare animals away that come close to the chicken. So this is flashing in the middle of the night. We thought we had people in our backyard. And then it attracts rats. And this is like, we have the rat traps all around the property.
That's,
And then there were a couple of rooster issues. One was called the police, the normal police. They showed up, had body cam footage, 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday. And there was a rooster. There was a health inspection that was announced. The rooster was taken away. But, there's a couple of issues. We had rooster issues in November, October last year. We had them again this year.
are chicken coops allowed?
For us, we treat them as an accessory structure. So as long as they meet setbacks.
What part of the operation do you consider the structure? Just
The
coop building itself?
the building, the
Not
roof
the
over.
fenced in area?
Yeah, like the roofed over portions.
And do you know what the ordinance says about chicken coops? Wasn't it a certain number? based on the
It's 15.5.
size? No,
But I think you're
no
missing the
roosters?
point. It's required that it be 50 feet from any.
no, I'm
property.
asking specific questions to try to
So
see. I know about the 50 feet. My question is, are you allowed roosters? How many chickens are you allowed?
I
I
didn't know
thought there
roosters.
was,
We'll check.
under a certain age, they can't have it. It's 15.
and I don't know who enforces that.
It would be the, right now it's the health department.
It's an ordinance they did without any enforcement, but let's,
It's the person from health, Cindy.
Yes.
With the inspection.
So yes, on the screen right now.
sit.
So no rooster under 4 months and no more 12 chickens.
Okay,
When
so
I
you're
have-
allowed chickens and then
No,
you
they
step
have
it
an eight.
over.
And they need to be compliant. So the number, point A needs to be 50 feet from any property boundary.
So what's the answer? Apply for a permit?
Yeah, apply
Come
for,
up with plans that show, that's a good start, to
Mhm.
show where the chicken coop is. And show how it complies.
so the structure we would regulate, but it'll be up to the health department. So if there's more
And you
than,
get a permit
12
from the health
chickens.
department, which I can't do anything about.
correct, yeah. So the legal space for it, I don't have a scale with me, but it'll be, here, way further away from that.
And then the deck,
Yes, the deck's right
clean
here.
up the deck.
Mhm.
Where's the deck?
The side of the house right here.
Is that conforming?
Yes, so we got approval, so
Close.
yes. So this as presented is approvable. It has been approved, but the permit's expired.
But there's another one, 25 away from each building. It's a 50 and the 20.
Sorry, 25 foot.
So it says 50 feet away from any property line and I think 25
Right,
feet
feet
away
from
from any building.
Dwelling unit, yes. So
Dwelling.
this last line is right here.
So our
Well-
dilemma here is we can only enforce zoning code. That's separate. That's a health ordinance. So that's why technically you could propose a zoning compliant location. However, it may be in contravention of that separate ordinance, which is under another department's purview. And I understand that's probably. the
Yeah.
question.
So yeah, that's why, approving something
Are
that will get approved
chickens-
for another one.
Considered livestock,
Fowl, so it's fowl and livestock is under the same,
or poultry, live poultry. 50 feet from the property boundary or which is less than okay, so you need 50 feet from the boundary and 25 feet from a dwelling unit, so you can't have it up against the house.
Hmm.
The reason is obvious, you don't want vermin attracted and getting into the house.
It's at
25 feet
So
from
you-
any dwelling.
This
Yeah.
is all,
Yeah.
the only thing you have, I think, are an open zoning permit for the deck.
Mhm.
A compliance issue with the driveway.
Mhm.
And what is the accessory structure setback in this zone?
For the zone will be 10 feet from the side and
How close are you to that?
I measured it. Yeah, so. 1 second. Yeah, we're in CB1M zone, so if it's back here, I don't have a scale with me, so it would be, anything, this shows the dotted line right
That's,
here.
that's the dotted line.
Yes, so that would be the setback line, yeah, so,
And 5 from
and 5 from the rear, yes. So,
Yeah, but if,
but the 50 feet,
these are the structures,
Mhm.
so. Setting aside what,
Yeah.
the fact that it's a chicken coop, you don't have a separate regulation for chicken coops
no,
in the zoning.
Mm.
So the
This
only
would-
zoning issues,
would, I cited it for a work without permits because,
well,
yeah,
yeah, sure. But all of that
Mhm.
is
Health
health
department.
department, right?
So ideally, like if an application was made to me for a chicken coop, I would look at this and confer with the health department before I approve anything, because I don't want to approve something here if the health department's gonna tell them
No,
no.
you need 50 feet.
Correct.
So how do we address this?
To make an
Your,
application.
your only jurisdiction here is the regular setbacks for the deck and for the shed that becomes a chicken coop.
Mhm.
The fencing doesn't matter.
Mhm.
And the rest is up to the health department.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, has the health department, issued any enforcement action?
They have been out. I'm not sure if any enforcement has been done. I was not kept in the loop for that. But they did do inspections.
So for zoning purposes, we're just dealing with one open permit.
Mhm.
And I don't know when the shed was built, but it's on this, right?
These, they're not that, they've
Well,
been out
where's
here.
the chicken coop in here?
They would be here, so Wayne would have, the surveyor would have showed it if it was
Yeah.
there, so they are new, so they're not grandfathered in yet because the
Well,
3
we
years.
got 3 years for that.
Correct, yes. So the way, in my mind, to remedy this is
What's the
to,
date on this?
assuming early 2024. Yeah, see the up the. Usually have the
David's
chart.
got August 4th, 22.
I usually have the chart that he writes.
he hasn't done a revision, he doesn't.
Oh, right. So yeah, no, this was the
Right,
original.
so they didn't exist in 2022, so it's more recent.
Correct.
Above ground pool, that doesn't belong there either, does it?
No, and that was removed.
What's the issue with the driveway?
So it was created here, so non-conforming parking was created here as well as newly to the side right here.
So this is like the other one where there were 2 driveways,
Correct, yes.
but this is all a driveway and a setback, which you can't do.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, now we know how the driveway now, I'll cover this and put a glass and stuff.
That's gone.
Mhm.
What's the gravel in the back for?
This one.
This here,
Volleyball court. Yeah, a very long story. Volleyball court.
gravel?
Yes, at the time. of
It's
completion.
little, yeah, but maybe I'm put a,
All right, so this is really the first time up.
Correct, yes, for us, yes, for this issue.
The health department has more teeth on the chicken coop. Didn't look like zoning has much to say about the chicken coop.
Correct, yeah, we'll still want to approve it.
Is there anything in the zoning regulations about livestock, poultry?
Zoning regulations? No,
Sometimes they do. No,
also be the structure itself.
just the structure.
Mhm.
Who at the health department? Who's
We were working with Cindy Bermudez. She is not here this week.
I mean, that's your answer. That.
Mhm.
There's more teeth there. You know, you can't, all you can do is move the building, the accessory structure to 10 feet from the boundary.
Mhm.
You can hold off on issuing approvals, but
Mhm.
you can't, you have no jurisdiction to order somebody to comply with the health regulations
Correct, yes.
or anything else in the ordinance.
Correct, yes. The way to, in my mind, to get this fixed is to reapply.
Parking, where's this, off St. Mary's Lane?
It's yes,
Or is
that's
that up
off
at the
of
top of Westbrook's at Linden Street? One is June Bar, the other is
Bar.
Bar.
Mhm.
Okay,
I would recommend.
Bring it up on it. You want to see it on the Google?
is the chicken coop there?
No, the
That's-
parcel, the aerial view.
No, I could see on
Okay.
the map here, it's a corner lot.
Can you ask the question about the volleyball court? So
you have
that-
issues on sports courts?
This is before sports courts. This
Mhm.
was issued specifically that it can't be
Okay.
for commercial activity. They can't do league play. I don't know what else we put on there.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
So there has been quite some issues around that with large groups of people gathering there and a couple of days a week making a lot of noise, walking streets. So there has been a lot of complaints from the neighborhood about that. So it's a residential area, single family houses, and all of a sudden there's a group of 20, 30 people playing volleyball.
Has that been an issue?
With my colleague, Mr. Hayducky, yes.
And what's his,
This permit was made to try to contain it, to monitor it.
so there's a permit for this?
Uh,
Are they, do you know if they're complying with it?
To my knowledge, no. But
But
it's a proof issue.
Is that your job here, or is that Mr. Hayducky's?
Kind of jointly.
Look at that.
Kind of a joint position.
Oh, you heard.
Mhm.
Kind
But
of-
next time that happens, send photos to me and just email photos of me or anything and like let me know when that happens so I can monitor.
And there have been a lot of complaints, right? Also calls to the police or whatever. It's a.
Nothing recent where,
No, not recent.
yeah, this is a history. I think
Where
it's
do
been,
you live here?
So there's a showed you, this is the picture from my art.
Yeah.
So here, this is
Mhm.
the picture taken.
Okay.
so the property did have some problems historically.
It was
Nothing
that
recent.
here, and this is quite close to us.
Yeah, I got it. How many chickens are there now?
8.
Eight. Okay.
You can see this in how the toilets and all that.
The most effective way to deal with this is the health department
Mhm.
and this ordinance about chickens,
Mhm.
poultry.
Mhm.
I can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it.
There was some email communication with Mr. Hall and with Ms. Bermuda. She said they went there early May.
Mhm.
And at that point, they couldn't find the roost, although they had been roosted a couple of times. The visit was announced.
Mhm.
They talked about, they keep the pool clean, right? But there was no discussion about the 50 and 25 feet regulation.
The issue that I have is these are zoning violations. And in order to get to me, the staff has to issue a citation for a zoning violation. I don't hear health department violations, or at least not yet. I think some, but your biggest concern is the chicken coop, right?
Yeah, because there's rats. We see
Oh,
rats
sure,
in
of
our
course.
backyard.
But that's not my jurisdiction right now. I don't have
So
any
how would
control
you
over it.
approach that then?
So that the best thing there would be to talk to the health inspector.
Like with Cindy to continue to update her on every time something happens because they have their own enforcement mechanism. So
Meanwhile, they have to get the zoning stuff. straight.
correct, yeah, because there are
It's
zoning
not-
issues here.
I mean, the deck is on the other side of the house.
Mhm.
Is the deck bothering you? Probably
No,
not.
that's
Yes.
driveway.
But they need to follow up on the deck, the
Mhm.
drive, and
There's a boat in the driveway as well. So, yeah,
But you know, they're
that's-
not using the
yeah.
deck, right? They're sitting right here, so they have a big battery, they're all sitting in this corner. And they're not sitting in the deck.
well, people
So-
have parties.
Yeah, no,
The
I
problem
understand.
is, you know,
Yeah.
if you have, what is it, you can't have league play.
Can be commercial
Commercial.
activity. Mhm.
I know make a party, no? When I make a barbecue in the Zari. I'm not using my deck.
Yeah, I got that. That sometimes.
It's not every week.
But
Sometimes
barbecue
no.
is burning unseasoned wood, which gives huge smoke development.
Yeah, but isn't there an ordinance on fires?
Yeah,
Not our department. I think that might be fire
they
marshal.
say if it's small, it's covered, it's fine, but if you have a huge fire, it's unseasoned wood, it's huge smoke development. So
There's a
the weekend-
statute
weekend
called
is-
kindling fires in the open air. You can't have open fires. You have a barbecue, but.
So he should reach out to the fire department.
Yeah, they say if it's
I
covered.
mean, that's another issue, yeah. But again, that's not a zoning issue.
No, I understand, but I think you hear there's a lot of issues here.
Oh, I know that there are zoning issues,
No, I
but
have
one of
rights
the
too as a
things,
citizen, right?
one of
So-
the things they can do is hold off on issuing approvals if there are other violations on the property, and sometimes that kind of works as a way to get everything in compliance with all of the ordinances and regulations that apply. But okay, so what do we do about the open permit for the deck? He's got to go get that
Needs to be a,
restarted.
correct.
And then, the chicken coop technically is not a violation other than building it without a permit.
Correct, yes.
And you took care of the driveway issue. There's boat storage. Here we go again. On
Yeah.
boat storage.
It's
Is
something
that
that it would hold up us approving it. So it would have to be
He
resolved
define a quiet location on the property.
on the property, yes. If it's screened and behind in the back,
Yeah.
it could work. But the only thing I would come to mind is this. So this needs to be all reapplied for. We need the reapplication showing chicken coops as well. If I approve something showing within 25 feet of a residence and 50 feet of, legally I could approve it. However, it'll be redundant if I do. So that's something I would want to be proposed further away in a compliant location for health before I approve it to avoid any redundancy.
Okay,
Johnson, maybe put a chicken coop over here.
That would probably be a compliant location.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is,
it's out.
make
well, no,
it-
it's
So
not
with the-
50 feet.
Oh, it's from the
It's
property line,
not 50 feet.
So we could find out.
That's the other property line.
Yeah, it might have to be in the
No,
middle,
no, that's-
Yeah,
right
probably
here.
gotta
what
be
is,
in the middle
what
of
is
the
my house?
This is your house right here,
Okay.
that's shaded.
That's side.
Like here's your driveway.
This
It's
is
gonna
drive.
be right in the middle of your
The property
backyard.
that
Yeah.
him is there.
Court.
Yeah,
No.
well,
Here,
most
let
likely
me
it'll
show
be
you
in
what-
here.
But even that wouldn't be 15, 20.
This is 10 feet, right?
Mhm.
This is what, 20?
No, this is maybe,
To 50.
So 50 is gonna be out to about here.
I got a scale.
Right.
But then 25 away. Dwellings.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the
Oh, I know.
my
What's
house
the-
is not,
20 scale. So 50 feet from this side would be right here. So kind of in the middle here and
Go
50
from
feet
that
in.
one. Go from this.
This side? Right here. So there's
So
like
you
a
got a
little,
very little window,
like right
but
here.
you gotta be 25 feet away from the house, right?
Correct, yes. So that would be from the edge right here.
It's gonna be-
So
Yeah, right in the
so pretty much in
middle,
the gravel, right
but
here.
small.
Small, yeah. Be a small.
You don't have a lot of room here. Right? This is almost 100 feet. This is less than 100 feet, so you get a little bit of leeway, but this is a very small area that you could put a chicken coop in. So most likely, you just don't have a practical place to locate it, because you put it here, that's the end of your volleyball.
no, I'm putting here, this side is a.
Not according to the ordinance, not according to the ordinance, you gotta be 50 feet. 50 feet from here gets you about along this line,
There's one is a 25. There's,
50 from the property.
yeah,
boundary.
this property is 25, the road is here is almost
This is
30
20.
feet. Almost 30 feet.
It's your property lines. It needs to be 50.
Is this a 1 in 20?
20, yes.
Alright, so 50 feet gets you right here.
Mhm.
Right there. You go from there out to here. Now you gotta be over here. Right? And then 50 feet from this boundary is here. So you just don't have much room at all. Your area is right about like this for the chicken coop. That's the only place on the property it's gonna work. If it's 25 feet away from the house. Let me see where that is. 25, yeah, 25 is right there. So you got a very little area right here,
Size of this desk maybe.
very little,
When you measure, and when I measure this,
25 feet,
no, this line, this line is 30 feet.
25.
You're looking at the wrong side of the different measurement here. No, he was, so you're good. You're
Yeah,
good,
but this is the one you measured.
Mhm,
from.
mhm.
And then here, it's out here. You just don't have a whole lot of room here.
Mhm.
And it's gonna eliminate your volleyball.
When you make a new plane this, they are common sense good. And this area is coming 50 feet this, maybe 25, 30 the other side.
What I'm trying to get at is, you might not have a practical location for the chicken coop.
Mhm. And they
And that
There are some
includes, I
coming, they
would think,
renew this one.
think the,
Maybe to clarify, we're trying to show you a location where you could meet zoning code and health code.
Mhm.
So that's what we're saying, the 50.
health
You're-
code wins here.
Mhm.
Because the separation distances are longer. So the health code is gonna win. The ordinance.
Mhm.
You can't say, well, I comply with zoning, because that's not the only rule that you could use. So follow up with health.
Mhm.
To me, that's the most significant issue right now.
Mhm.
And you know, maybe you take a copy of this and kind of
Oh, this is our copy, yeah.
pencil it in.
Mhm.
Scale it and see where you are.
When Ms. Bermudez gets back, I do plan on meeting with her to discuss.
Yeah, but the other question is, what do they consider the coop? Is
Mhm.
that just the structure, or is it the
It says
fenced in
pen,
area?
yeah. It says
And if it's the pen,
Mhm. That's.
now you're even
Mhm.
less.
Mhm.
There's also
But the
regulation.
real reason, the only reason you're in front of me right now is the zoning violations, not the chicken coop, right? The chicken coop's not technically a zoning.
The coop itself, location, the works on
Other
permits,
than,
yeah,
other
but yeah,
than they built it without permit.
correct, yes.
But you could get a permit to put a shed in the same place.
Correct, yes. It's the use of the, yeah.
It's the use of it that's the problem.
Mhm.
So all I can, I look at these in a practical way. You need to get your zoning issues resolved, whether you keep the chicken coop or not. You might have to give up the chicken coop, but that's a health department question. It's not a question for me.
Okay.
Okay? And the other thing is, does she know about the ordinance, or is she just going with the health code?
That's Ms. Bermudez.
Yeah.
I think she's going off health code, so that's why I wanted to
Or
have a
she,
meeting.
you
there.
gotta talk about the ordinance.
Correct, yes.
too.
Mhm.
This became a big issue when the common council adopted that ordinance change.
Mhm.
You know. But you gotta get going. on it. So
Mhm.
what I'll do is kick this over for a month. While you gotta work on resolving this. This is only the first time up. I usually try to get people to bring things into compliance. If you wanna leave these with Mr. Hall,
Thank you.
that would help. But I think as we've been talking, the major issue for you right now is this coop and the chickens. And the health department has bigger things. than some.
You can't convert that court without our approval. You talked about, you began to mention you're thinking of resurfacing it. It's pea gravel right now, right? You can't convert it to asphalt without our approval because now you're
That becomes
subject to
impervious,
impervious
and that's,
coverage.
now you
Yeah.
have another issue
Yeah.
with zoning.
So that's just something else to keep in mind. Pretty much anything. you
My
wanna do.
suggestion for you is come in and talk to the
Mhm.
staff about everything you want to do.
Mhm.
Everything.
Okay.
And they'll tell you
Friday.
what you can do, how you can do it, and what you can't do,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly, yeah.
And the location.
And
Yeah.
sooner rather than later.
Mhm.
So if we're off until June,
Yeah, send it, John, Mr. Jones, I'm waiting for paper.
Okay,
I'll
so,
come on paper, then I'll check it out.
so
He
either,
said to check it. Exactly, little cúpula, se vuelve pura.
okay, so if either tomorrow or Friday you want to come in, we could discuss options pretty much.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay. All right,
maybe coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll follow up with the health department, because that, like I said, they got more
Two
to.
of these things that you mentioned.
Yes, mhm, yeah,
Okay. Anything else?
25th?
yes.
June 25th.
I'll let her out.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
When again?
June 25th. I'll send a letter though. We got another letter.
Okay.
But you'll come in tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow or-
Yeah,
Sunday.
tomorrow or
I come
Friday,
and
yeah.
talk to you. I have it. One more deadline.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Anybody else here?
No.
All right, 8 Dover Street.
8 Dover, yes. Right, thank you.
Thank you.
8 Dover, yes. So this is the one with Attorney Thoris, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Peter Latour.
Yes, Thoris.
This
So
is the one with the conservator or whatever,
correct, yes.
executive.
Yes. So
So this is the one where they still have to. So what's going on? They're not here.
I believe I didn't do the best job explaining the situation last time. My colleague, Ms. Hayducky, did write a memo before I took over this case. So pretty much shows the previous owner was renting out 2 unpermitted apartments on the property. And it was inspected and confirmed it, and I was given the file. So pretty much the only realistic way to get it legalized was to remove the 2 basement units.
So what do they do?
They said that they would make the applications. I do in my presentation too, and in the binder, I have just constant email history, just telling them what needs to be done. So here's the house in question. So I've told them, people this 5 times on the January 30th, on the January 21st,
Yeah,
again on
but you're
21st.
telling Attorney Lathoris.
Yes,
And what is his response?
he acknowledges it. So yeah, so on the bottom, so he's pretty much, I think they're just trying to do it without getting a permit. They haven't applied for a permit. They haven't requested an inspection. I've just been hearing, I think we're good. Let me know what we need to do since January. Then I've told them 5 separate times that you need
Did
to
they
apply
ask
for a
for a
permit.
hearing?
No, so they were here actually last month during the April hearing. So, and we discussed what they
And we
needed.
had a whole issue with whether they're the right people.
Correct,
in the first
yes.
place.
Mhm.
So who would
He says they
who's the
designed-
citation directed to?
This agent was directed to, I believe it was the daughter of the owner,
Is this the
Zena.
citation?
Yes, or the hearing notice.
Okay, Xenophon Patanopoulos.
Correct, yes.
Is that the person who's deceased?
No, that is the daughter. I think she had a name that she prefers to go by, however, regretfully I forgot the name.
He was at the last meeting.
She was, yes. So her and I believe it was her husband were at the hearing, and we discussed pretty much what needed to be done.
I believe they were of the mindset that since no one was there, they.
Yeah, but what,
Correct.
the original citation, where's the?
Apologies. And I can get you the original notice as well.
That's a notice for hearing.
Oh yeah, that was hearing notice. Apologies. Notices on, here's the notice of violation, and afterwards should be the citation. Here's the citation.
How did you determine that this person is the right?
The tax card. So on the city tax card, this was the last updated name and address.
Well, how did? Yeah, but is this the right? Who's the executive?
The executor, that was the question where we did not know. They did not
Oh,
know.
didn't you, somebody go upstairs? and-
Correct, yes.
So
Probate.
it was Peter Lathoris, even though he said it wasn't him.
Yes. And then I've been,
Saying, oh, yes, I am.
so I've been in
He's up
constant
there.
email contact with Mr. Lathoris.
So technically, it's his responsibility to deal with.
Correct,
He's
yes.
the agent.
Well,
No, he's the person who is responsible for,
We have to notice the property owner.
that is the property.
He's the property owner as the executor.
That's
Okay, but
what
he's aware of it,
executives
so you
do.
can't say he doesn't have notice.
No, I know that, but the citation goes against, now what is her? She might be listed on this as the person to receive tax bills.
Mhm.
Can we go to the land records?
yes.
Not clerk. Land records. Right there, click. Accept. And then you should be, oh, you could do that.
Yeah.
All right, type in Fontanopolis. Oh, search. And then click on the date, and so we organize by date with the most recent data. Christos,
2018.
City of Norwalk, probate.
This one?
What's the address here? Dover?
Yeah, Edover, yes.
What was the former owner's name? Let me see the, is that the tax thing?
Yeah, that's most updated tax.
It's 2006.
Oh, this was the I think that was like the last change of ownership because this was from 2023. The
Yeah, you know, but the deed to refer to is 2006.
Hmm.
Could have it to 2006.
right here's Dover 3D.
Go back to results.
Yeah.
Result. Go to Lathoris, Lathoris.
Ouris.
LA or LO?
All right, go back and hit results. Actually, sure. Yeah, no. And then go back to the search.
Mhm.
After Lathoris, space here. And then do the same thing with the D. Okay. Trusted, 261 East Avenue. Game, jeez.
Is it LA? I thought it was LO. Am I wrong?
LATHOURIS. Yep.
Good clue. Do we know what is this?
That's from the tax assessor office, the website.
What's the address?
8 Dover.
8 Dover.
Mhm.
See where it says view in the
Um,
left on the first item.
Mhm.
You need a subscription.
I guess so.
Kind of go back to results. Well, there's a power of attorney there, Georgia.
This one.
I don't see any probate things there.
Do we have to file it on the land records that they're the executor?
They usually do if there's real estate involved. So a map 4198.
It's an older map.
See, and then you got Peter Lathoris, TR as trustee.
Hmm.
281 East Avenue LLC. That's probably not it. I don't know. All right, so they're just basically ignoring this.
Correct. Well, I want to say playing dumb because they have been responding, but let me know what we need about once a month, and I tell them once a month they need to apply for a permit, and now it's like okay, they'll acknowledge it. Then a month later, I think we're good. What do we need? So I think it's a stalling tactic. I've been in contact since January with Mr. Lathoris and the children of the deceased.
But who's the person who died?
The father of Miss Xenophon, according to point to her.
Yeah, but what's his name?
Not sure. I think it was a while ago. Um,
That's Leaky.
Font top. He just says Mr. Fatinopoulos. So I never got a first name. Lefty, maybe? I don't know.
It doesn't have it on that.
Um,
That's, I'm not sure.
This one? It is.
Well, who's Lefty Sirapopoulos?
I'm not sure. He made that.
Has-
I think that might be the husband.
So this has Vaslin.
Could be, yeah, could be Vaslik. It shows the old owner on the
Yeah, but
text.
that's old. What's the
Hmm.
date on that transaction?
Not paid for that.
Not dated.
It's gonna be pretty old. Are both names on it? The same line?
Oh,
Just
here, so this is Vasilic and this is Vasil. So maybe
Yeah,
that's.
it's probably truncated because of the size of
1983.
the field.
Can you look in the tax collector and see?
collector. Could do that. Collector. Oh. PBL. As of 2023, it was under Fatinopoulos Realty. The last tax bill, but it's
The last tax bill?
yes, and the 20 on the screen right now, from 2023. So it's been the Zeno.
So she was listed as the owner in 2013, is that right?
Yes,
But
the same
that's-
as on the tax card.
That's where the bills go.
Oh,
Click on
okay.
one of those things on the right.
PDF.
Yeah, name. Fatinopoulos Realty, #1.
That doesn't show up on the tax card.
No, but that
Yeah.
is probably because this might be the person who. That might be the record owner,
Mhm.
taxpayer. Who paid the taxes. Is that the right? Yeah, Route Grove Street. Could this be in a LLC?
Potentially. They got my notice last time. Oral notice was given last
Well,
time.
they're getting the notice,
Yeah,
but it
we're
has to be addressed to the right owner. Is really the issue.
So they can play that shell game. Oh, we'll put it
Well,
on
it's
this
not
LLC.
just that. People do it for legitimate reasons, but. There you go.
Delinquent.
8 Dover Street.
Yep.
Click it.
It says agent Peter Lathorse.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but this will list principals, Xenophon.
Zena. That's
Scroll
who's on
down,
tax.
scroll. Peter Lathorse, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I guess you can go back to the land records and do a search for that company. Although. Yeah, there you go.
Like 2009. This was dope. Dover Street.
Yeah, there you are.
Where is that?
Let me see who's a grantee. Yeah, the realty. company. That is probably the owner. Because that's the grantee. It says Dover, right?
Mhm.
7115. What's the date of that?
2009. Mhm.
I mean, these ownership history listings are not always 100% accurate. And the name on up here as owner
Mhm.
might be the name of the person that gets the bills.
She's been in front of us and she has not indicated that there is a different owner that this should become.
I know
And the
that's-
attorney
that's-
who represents them has
but-
not indicated.
I know
they
that, but
should-
that's kind of, you know, you want to really get down to fine points. That's, you know, you're issuing the citation. It's up to you to issue it to the right.
His most recent communication said, I'm authorized to sign for this. That was the last
The
email
last email.
from Peter LaForest.
Oh, from Peter?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's in my presentation. I'm the executor, so I can sign anything you need. That was from May 16th.
Yeah, but do they even own the property?
Well, we just looked up in the LLC. She's the member.
I know, but the LLC is a different entity. You know, if that's the record owner, that's who the citation's supposed to go. What I would suggest is, and this has been going on, but if there's somebody that died and he's the executor, I think I would call the Thors, tell them we had our meeting too.
Mhm.
And I'm kicking it over a month, but we need to know who the real owner is.
Mhm.
And what the plan is, because they're in violation.
Mhm.
And you know, so far you've been going along with this, right?
Right, yes.
To figure out who to address these to.
Mhm.
But that's what I would do, get it right from him, say, look, the hearing officer had a question. Who is the record owner? And if it's somebody that died, then tell us who it is so we can just address these violations.
Would him saying that he's the executor, would that count for anything? Or
Well, it counts, but if it's in an LLC, then him being executor doesn't help us. The LLC still exists. You know, then the question is who's got the ability to speak for the LLC. So let's do that. And I don't know who this 49 Van Zandt.
this was I was CC'd on another email, so it was about another client he's representing.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
All right. So let's just take it over to you now.
No. Contact him tomorrow.
And then so that goes to
So just two more, I think.
Kate Dover.
Mhm.
9 Pleasant Street. What's going on?
Yeah, this was a new one.
Why isn't anybody here?
I do not know. Let's pull up the file. So this one, I did an inspection with the health department and fire marshal, and CD2 zone should be a 2-family. I found 4 units there. The property owner was not there at the time. It was just the tenant who was acting as a property manager let us around the house. So the first floor had 2 units on it. There was a basement that was vacated, but there's still kitchen elements in the basement. And there was a second floor had its own unit. So 2 on the first. Actually, you have I got this one packed out. So the first floor kind of looked like this. So you entered in the front. So they divided it in the back. So on the first floor, there's a unit here and a unit here behind it.
So this started so you found 4 units.
Yes. And I walked through the entire property. So
why aren't they here?
I have no idea. So there was according to the health department, they always have like the owner would always like claim that they weren't, it was like very dodgy.
Who's the owner?
The owner on record, it was Craig and Andrea Lynn DeValda. So
Did you speak to either one of them?
I did not know. They were both not there.
How were they served?
They were served at first. I did the normal method of sending a notice via regular certified mail. However, since I didn't get a response, I wanted to make sure it was bulletproof. So I resent the notice with a constable service to a confirmed delivery for both the sites. So I sent a notice and I resent the notice again.
Yeah, but how did he deliver?
He delivered at Abode Services. So
Yeah, but does that mean to somebody's in hand?
no. So if there, he always tries, or constable always tries in hand service,
Yeah.
but if not, he'll just leave it Abode.
I hold it now. Do we know that they live there?
According to the tax record, I do not believe the owner lives there. However, according to the tax record,
It's not this shows you.
yes, shows ownership. And I also pulled up the bill as well, which I think I printed out.
The tax bill in there?
Printed out. Oh yes, here's the tax bill from. Here we go. Also, I do have this. So when I first sent out the notice back in March, the health department sent me this email. So after I sent the first notice in March, he contacted the health department regarding a letter he received from the city. It wasn't them, and the timing works out where it would be the first notice I sent. So I believe he did receive.
In Shelton?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's
According to
not where
her,
they
she
live.
lives. According to the health department, they live in Shelton, but the tax records don't reflect that.
Oh, tax records give you the owner's name and the detailed information. Do you have a copy of the bill?
The bill, that is the so 3490. Say that was the 2023 bill.
Yeah.
Here. See, that's this right here.
Yeah, but go back.
Mhm.
See what the other choices are. What's that I, that one?
This one, information on this.
Go down. See if there's another. Go back to search result. Yeah, what's that?
To all
All
bills.
bills. Well. I'm gonna do the I just to see what. Go back to that.
Mhm.
Because a boat service doesn't help if they don't live there.
Right. Yes.
And it looks like he didn't. And these are individuals, right?
Correct. Yeah. So.
I know in lawsuits, if somebody, an individual defaults, you can't enter judgment against them without a military affidavit, which means somebody figures out and signs an affidavit that says the person's not in the military, because if they're in active duty, it's automatically state. So if you have a judgment without a military affidavit, then it doesn't mean anything. We have the same. I don't know if that applies here. I know it applies in foreclosures and any other kind of lawsuit. I don't. I kick this over a month. You got to drill down on where these people are actually receiving. And if it takes a trip down to the tax flip down to the tax collector and see where they send these bills or where the payments come from or whatever. Take a look, find the deed, see what the deed has, because most deeds will have a little thing on it where to send them back, which is either the lawyer or sometimes, a lot of times, it's the property owner themselves and their resident address. But you know, the boat service, if it's in hand, that's another thing.
Mhm.
But if it's a boat service, then you've got to show that they live there. If we know they don't, or probably don't, then you don't have good service.
Mm.
So let's kick it over for a month.
Okay.
That's what, things closing?
Yeah, sign closing. Almost one more.
One more, this is that Westport Avenue.
Correct, yeah.
What are we doing here? Is this
This is
getting
the
resolved or what?
so they tried to resolve it legally. So when we assessed the fine last time, that made them spring into action. They attempted to apply to legalize them as a vape shop. However, we were getting our ducks in a row for what can we make a legal vape shop, not location or not. And actually, this is not part of my presentation. We actually made a map of where any new vape shop could go. And so since there's already grandfathered in vape/tobacco shops within a mile of them, they cannot move in. They can't be there as a permitted vape shop. So they made the application. The application. It was this past week they made the application. They did ask on the 14th they made an application. They did send this email regretting that they cannot make it here today. Even though I encouraged them to try to make it.
They did file an application.
Yes, they did file an application here. So here's the application. However, on the application, it does denote that they want to sell tobacco and vape products.
Well, you gotta work through the application.
Yes, so we can't approve it as is. So they did make an application, however, we can't approve it as is.
It's pending.
It's pending,
not,
yes.
It's not incurable.
Correct, yeah. So if they it's like a regular convenience shop, 7-Eleven, that type of thing, we can approve it, no
Can
problem.
they sell cigarettes?
No, because no. So it's a new city ordinance that came down. You need either a lottery license, a grocery license, liquor license, or be a recognized vape shop to be allowed to sell tobacco now. And if you're not, you can't be two stores, like standalone tobacco stores within a mile of each other.
Really?
So this map here actually is brand new. We made this yesterday. It's not part of my presentation, but they're on Westport Avenue, and there's already two legal grandfathered in for Westport. So there's two circles. So within this overlap, they can't have any new ones.
I don't know if that ordinance will hold up.
That's beyond my pay grade, I'll say.
Well, is it a zoning thing or is it a town? ordinance?
They want city ordinance, but they want us to enforce it.
They can't. They gotta put it in the zoning. regs.
So this was the updated amendment that we made here in the definition, the
You
limitation.
You want you guys to enforce it, it's gotta be put in the zoning. regs.
So this is a new updated, the restriction on tobacco/vape stores.
Well, then if that's in the regs, then you have something
Mhm.
other than that.
Yeah, so
Okay. So they have an application pending.
Mhm.
it's
So,
really a
just
point.
gotta work it out.
Okay.
I would actually, instead of bumping it a month, I would actually request bumping it to our July hearing.
What would we do?
Yes. And that should be it.
All right, so you got the,
The forms, yes, I can send that, but no one else in the audience, so I'll end the meeting. Thank you all for attending.
thank you, we're adjourned.